Hello, students. This is David Brish, your counselor here at APS Online High School. And you know what shirt I'm wearing? I'm wearing the shirt of the best college in the world, UNC Bears. Go Bears. I'm here to talk about credits and GPAs today. And I wanted to talk about this before you make your goals. So watch this before you're doing your goal setting activity in Naviance, okay? All right, so let's get started here. Being on task is counselor talk for how many credits you have at the end of a year. So a freshman should finish with at least 6 credits or more. Sometimes students have 7 classes, and if you took all 7 classes and passed them, you might have 7 credits as a freshman. But that technically would be 1 credit ahead, which would be great if you had that. But you definitely want to make sure your goal is for 6 credits in 1 year. A sophomore should finish by 12 credits, another 6, right, by the end of the sophomore year. And then a junior, 5 credits for 17 credits by the end of his or her junior year, so that the senior can then have 22 credits. That's what you need to graduate. There's a trick with credits, however, in that you have to have a certain number of credits in certain areas. You have to have 22 total credits, right? But you also have to have 4 language arts credits and 4 math credits and 3 science credits. I have some seniors with 24 credits, which is more than you need to graduate, but they don't have 4 language arts or they don't have 4 math. So they're still with us trying to get those credits in order to graduate. So you need 2 things to be true. One is that you filled up these categories here and you've gotten 22 credits at least total. Down here is a category called electives, and electives is kind of a catch-all category for all the credits that aren't included in these categories up here. So for instance, if you took Spanish 1 and Spanish 2, Spanish 1 would count for your world language credit you need to graduate. Spanish 2, since it's extra, would go down to electives. So like we said before, we need 22 credits to graduate. That's why we call our graduating class Club 22. So you might see some t-shirts around the lab with Club 22 on it. That is for the senior class who's graduating this year. Each class that you take is worth 1 quarter credit for each quarter you take. So it's easy to remember, right? Every quarter is a quarter credit. So that if you're in a class for the whole year, you would get 1 credit for each class. Failing 1 class, though, can hurt your chances of graduating on time. And that's really because if you fail a language arts class or a math class, you put yourself really in a hole because you have to have 4 years of each of those areas. So, missing 1 quarter of that could hurt your chances for graduation. You're going to have to make it up somewhere along the line. Since we're talking about goal setting here in a little bit, I wanted to also talk briefly about grade point averages, because I get a lot of questions about how they calculate them and how it works. So here we go. You get 4 points for each A you get, 3 points for each B, 2 points for each C, 1 point for each D. So a 4.0, I'm sure you've heard that term before, that's all A's. A 3.0 is all B's, or at least they average to B's, right? A 2.0 is an average of C's, okay? And you calculate your grade point average by adding up all the points you've got for all the classes you're in, and then dividing by the total number of classes. So let's see an example here. If you were a 10th grader and these were your classes and these were your grades, you would get 3 points for the B, remember, 2 points for the C, 3 points for this B, 1 point for this D, 4 points for the A, 3 points for the B here. You would add up all those points, then you would divide by the 6 classes that this student has, and you would get a GPA of a 2.7. The trick with GPAs, though, is that it starts your freshman year and goes all the way through your final quarter of your senior year. So it's always changing. So if this person got a 2.7 and he or she was not happy with that, maybe she wanted a 3.0 or something, what she would have to do then is get maybe a 3.5 GPA for the next quarter, and that would help raise her GPA up a little bit to maybe make that 3.0. So she would need, a lot of B's and a couple of A's for the next quarter to help raise this up to get it to a 3.0. A good goal to have, since we're going to talk about goals in a minute, is to make sure that you have a 3.0 GPA or higher, and that you have the right amount of credits based on your grade level, right? So a freshman should have 6, a sophomore 12, a junior 17, a senior 22. You want the 3.0 for scholarships and for college entrance. So if you're thinking about going to college, or maybe if you're not thinking about college at this point, I would still recommend shooting for that 3.0. You may find out, you may be a freshman now, and you may find out later on as a 12th grader, hey, you know what, maybe I do want to go to the Community College of Aurora, or the University of Northern Colorado, or CU, or some out-of-state school. And so plans can change over the course of a little bit of time. And so when you apply to college, you're still going to be using your high school transcript. So whenever that is, you're still going to want to have a 3.0. Some things, though, that you can benefit from by having a 3.0 earlier on is by going to Pickens, by attending concurrent enrollment, or later on when you're a senior, maybe doing a year of Ascent. So let's start with Pickens. There are 40 different programs that Pickens offers. Everything from welding to early childhood education to auto tech to dental assisting, all sorts of different programs. But you have to have good grades and good attendance in order to be placed in those programs. You can get a certificate in a whole bunch of cool areas that kind of propel you into a career in that field, but you have to have good grades and good attendance in order to do that. The same thing is true for concurrent enrollment. In order to test into concurrent enrollment, you have to take a test called the CCPT, and so you need the knowledge that you'll have in all of the classes up until you're a sophomore or junior in order to do well on that test. So doing well in class is going to equal doing well on that test probably. Concurrent enrollment means that you can get high school credit and college credit at the same time. So I have some students at CCA right now, the Community College of Aurora right here, and they are getting college credit in, let's say, English 121. It's like the freshman level English class in college. And they get English credits at the same time for high school. If you use either one of these programs, if you go to Pickens for a year, or you go to the concurrent enrollment program, you might not finish either of the programs before you're done with high school. So in that case, you can apply to be an Ascent student, and that will allow you to go to either CCA or Pickens for another year for free. So the benefit of getting good grades and good attendance is the idea that you get to have some doors open to you at the Pickens Technical College or at the Community College of Aurora, and some students end up with a 2-year degree when they graduate. You have to start when you're a junior for that to happen, but if that's the case, wouldn't that be nice? You'd save yourself all kinds of money because APS picks up the tab for your the cost of enrollment there. All you have to pay for is books. So it can really benefit you to have good grades and good attendance because it sets you up for some great opportunities in the future. All right, now it's time to set some goals. So now that you know that information about credits, about GPAs, about the benefits that you can have by getting those two things, let's talk about how to do the goals. Okay, so the first task in every year for your ICAP, your individual career and academic plan, is to do some goal setting. So you're going to start on the counseling page, so make sure you go to courses and then choose counseling. Then you're going to go over here to the left-hand side to materials, and if you take a look here, there's materials for each of the grade levels. Okay, so choose whatever grade level you are currently in. Just randomly choose 10th graders here. And you'll see a little introduction to the ICAP here, and you'll see a video about how to navigate through Naviance. So if you're watching this at home right now, and you want to learn a little more about Naviance, feel free to play the video here. I go through what each of the tabs is like and how to move around in there, what kind of cool things Naviance offers for you. But for today, since you're watching this video, we're going to click on the Naviance link here, and we're going to log into Family Connection. So click on the Naviance link there and we'll get started on Family Connection. Now you have to put in your student number for the username, and your password is your 6-digit birthday. For instance, mine would be 051177. And then you end up on a screen that looks like this. Here's the kind of welcome screen. There are 4 tabs up at the top here. We're going to go to My Planner though, so click on My Planner, and then Tasks Assigned to Me. And then you're going to click on the PWR SMART Goals. So no matter what grade you are watching this, everybody starts with a PWR SMART Goal. So click on your PWR SMART Goal. It will bring up a screen that looks like this. And what you're going to do right now is fill this screen in. Okay. First, you're going to create a goal for yourself. Then you're going to make sure it's a SMART goal, S-M-A-R-T. Okay, by filling in some information in the boxes here. Okay, so you're going to create the goal first by thinking about your GPA that you want to set for yourself this year, or a particular class you want a particular grade in, or maybe you want to set yourself a grade for all of your classes. Something like my goal is to get B's in all of my classes, or my goal is to pass my math class with an A, or whatever the case may be. You could also put the GPA goal, like I just talked about. I want a GPA of, and then name a number, 3.0, 4.0, 3.5, something like that. Here's an example goal. My goal is to pass my math class with a B. So then we're going to talk about what makes it specific. So in this box, you're going to put, what specific things are you going to accomplish? If you put a letter grade in there or a GPA in there, that's the specific thing, right? We're going to get a B or better. We're going to get a 3.0 or better. Okay. I don't want you to put up here in the goals section something that's not very specific. Something like, my goal is to get good grades. My definition of good grades and your definition of good grades could be very different. So you want something really specific in there. For measurable, it's asking how you know when you've achieved the goal. So in this case, our grades come out every quarter. So you can check every quarter. You can check your math grades. Every week you can use me if you want to. I can see all the grades. Your mentor is another good person to go to. He or she can see all of your grades as well. So I'm not going to know specifics in civics. I'm not going to know what assignment you're missing or what grade you got on this particular test or something like that, but I'll know the overall grade. We do eligibility every Wednesday. So Thursday and Friday are good times to check grades for that week to see how you're progressing. Achievable. This is asking if the goal is realistic. You're probably going to say yes because you just made this goal. And then it's going to ask for tools you need to achieve it. Okay? Use me. I can be a tool to help you achieve this goal. Your mentor can. And then you need to think about some things that you're going to need to do in order to help you achieve that goal. So in this case, this person is paying attention to the math block every day that the person's in the lab and making sure that they're in constant contact with their math teacher. Very good ideas. The relevance is, why is it relevant? Why is it important to your life? This person needs the credit to graduate. This person wants to become a massage therapist, right? But the person needs all of the credits first in order to graduate first before you can be a massage therapist. So why is it relevant to, why is it important to your life? And then timely is about the when. When can we tell you've achieved the goal? Probably every quarter is what you're going to be putting in here, because that's when grades come out. So we can check every quarter and see how you're achieving your goal. When you're ready, you're going to hit Add Goal, or if you edited a previous goal, you're going to hit Save Goal. And this is how you'll know you'll be done. When it puts it into Naviance's Family Connection, you'll see the goal here in blue, and then you'll see the specific, the measurable, the achievable, the relevant, and the timely parts of it all down below it. Now you can show off your goal to your mentor. You can show it off to parents. You can show it off to guardians. You can show it off to your friends. You can show it to me, obviously. And then every quarter we can check and see how your progress is going toward that goal. So thanks for listening to me here talk about how to do the goal and talk about credits and transcripts and GPAs. So when you have questions, make sure to contact me in the counseling page. Remember, let me go back to the counseling page here. Remember that my information is in the bottom left-hand corner of the counseling page. So you can always call, you can always text, you can always email, We can do one of these fancy virtual office chats where it's like we're in the same room together, except for we're not, we're over the internet. So make sure that you contact me when you need me. Thanks a lot, everybody, and good luck with the goals.